Ethan Mang has been studying abroad for 3 years and is finally coming back. I dressed up beautifully and arrived at the airport an hour in advance to wait. A short separation is better than a new marriage. Ethan Mang and I haven't had sex for a long time. When I thought about the passionate love we would have when we met again tonight, my body was excited. No more contraception. I want to give birth to a child for him. My parents-in-law and my brother-in-law also came to pick me up at the airport. Lily, now that Ethan Mang is back, you have to put having a child on the agenda. He's not young anymore, and I'm still waiting to have a grandson. My mother-in-law's suggestion coincided with my thoughts, and I smiled happily. But when my husband appeared at the airport, I couldn't smile at all. He was hugging a pregnant woman affectionately. The woman was bulging with her belly, and it looked like she was at least 5 months pregnant. No wonder he didn't come back to China once in the past 3 years, and he didn't allow me to see him because the air ticket was too expensive. It turned out that he had cheated. Ethan Mang knew that I would come to pick him up at the airport, but he didn't hide it at all. What is my wife in his eyes? The Mang family also saw this scene and were petrified. Let me introduce you, this is Jessica, my goddess. Ethan Mang shamelessly introduced the identity of the mistress. Then he looked at me with a livid face. Lily, we are apart for a long time, and the relationship between husband and wife is in name only. It is meaningless to waste time. Let's divorce. Ethan Mang and I were college classmates. After graduation, I worked and he went abroad to study at his own expense. I supported him very much. I paid hundreds of thousands of tuition and living expenses every year. I worked hard and lived frugally, but I was afraid that Ethan Mang would suffer abroad. I sent almost all the money I earned to him. Many international students have to work and study to wash dishes. But Ethan Mang did not work a day in his 3 years of studying abroad. I also took good care of his family during these 3 years. If my parents-in-law were not feeling well, I would send them to the hospital immediately and serve them. My brother-in-law is a troublemaker. I always clean up his mess. Although my husband is not around, I am lonely. But I keep myself clean and never mess around. I keep my virginity for him. It is absolutely not an exaggeration to say that I am a model wife, perfect daughter-in-law and best sister-in-law. My mother-in-law often praises me to the neighbors. Ethan Mang must have done good deeds in his previous life to find a woman like Lily. Before I went abroad, Ethan Mang's words were still ringing in my ears. Lily, I am going abroad to get better experience for my future development. You have worked so hard in the past few years, I will definitely not let you down in the future. Is this his way of not letting you down? Repaying kindness with enmity is disheartening enough. Ethan Mang did it even more. After enjoying my dedication and hard work with a clear conscience, he gave me a big green hat. I was so angry that I laughed. Spending less time together? Disharmony? Why didn't you say that your relationship was not harmonious when I spent money to send you abroad? Why didn't you say that your relationship was not harmonious when you asked me for living expenses every month? Why didn't you say that your relationship was not harmonious when I worked like a cow and a horse to help you serve your parents? Demolish the bridge after crossing the river, and kill the donkey after it has done its work. Ethan Mang, are you too realistic? I pointed at the bulging belly of the mistress. Let's take a step back. Even if we break up, you have to go through the divorce procedures before you can be considered single again, right? Cheating during marriage. And pregnant with a bastard. Ethan Mang, although it's wrong to curse, you're being too easy. Hearing my accusation, Ethan Mang's face turned pale at first, and then he roared in shame and anger. Lily! Shut up! I don't allow you to insult me, let alone the fruit of my love with Jessica. He stroked the mistress's belly with his hand, and his face was full of the holy glow of fatherly love. Don't put on an ugly face in front of me, saying you are doing me a favor. Don't try to kidnap me with morality. Before the divorce, I was your husband, and my parents are your mother-in-law and father-in-law. You spend money on me and serve my parents, which is your obligation. Don't take credit for it. I won't be grateful to you. You paid voluntarily. No one forced you with a gun. Now that I want to divorce you, do you think it's not worth it? What have you been doing before? You said I was cheap? I think you are cheap. You are a woman who wants to kidnap a man for a lifetime with a small favor. You are the most tasteless. The mistress laughed and kissed Ethan Mang on the face again. Ethan Mang is right. You are a cheap wife. He paid for us to book a room abroad. She is the world's biggest victim. Ha ha ha. Is this TMD human language? Not only I can't accept it, but the Mang family also went crazy. The father-in-law scolded his husband with a fierce face. Shut up. How could I have a shameless son like you? It's a disgrace to our family. I absolutely don't agree to divorce. The mother-in-law was in tears. Ethan Mang, have you been bewitched? Lily is such a good woman. You should be content. She has nothing to say to you, and she is filial to me and your father. She is also capable and earns tens of thousands a month. It's hard to find a woman like this. If you lose her, you will regret it. You won't even have a place to cry. Listen to your mother and beat up the mistress's bastard quickly, and apologize to Lily. While persuading my wife, my mother-in-law comforted me kindly. Lily, Ethan Mang is ignorant and I spoiled him. Can you forgive him this time? My brother-in-law rolled up his sleeves and went to beat the mistress. Fox spirit. You seduced my brother, right? I'll kill you. I only recognize Lily as my sister-in-law. No one else can do it. It's no wonder that I'm usually very good to this brother-in-law. When he got a girlfriend, I gave him all-round guidance, from writing love letters to booking restaurants. I also lent him my Tesla to make things look good. Even if he scratched my car, I didn't get anxious with him. My father-in-law cheered my brother-in-law on the side. Beat this cheap bastard to death. This woman is a slut at first glance. She cheated on your brother. Facing the huge fist of the brother-in-law, the mistress did not dodge or evade, but asked calmly. Do you like Ferrari? I'll give you one, as long as you call me sister-in-law. The brother-in-law's fist stopped in the air instantly. Ferrari? Don't scare me? Ethan Mang snorted. Scare you? Brother, you look so ignorant. Let me introduce you again. Jessica. The eldest princess of Changshan Group. Fortune 500. The richest person in the city. Don't even mention a Ferrari. She has a private jet. Haha, Lily's tens of thousands of yuan a month is really good compared to ordinary people, but it's just Jessica's daily pocket money. In terms of wealth, she is not even worthy of carrying Jessica's shoes. Isn't Lily working at Changshan Group? But with her level, of course she can't get in touch with the top. My brother-in-law explained in front of me what it means to forget loyalty for the sake of profit, to turn against each other like turning over a book, and to be the mother of whoever gives you milk. Immediately changed boxing to massage. He was servile to the mistress, like a lackey. New sister-in-law, you must be tired from the flight, right? I'll help you loosen up your bones. The way he licked his ass was because he didn't have a dog's tail behind his ass, otherwise it would definitely swing wildly. Ethan Mang looked at his father-in-law and mother-in-law again. Bastard? Jiao Jiao is carrying a dragon seed. I'm not fickle, I'm abandoning the dark and joining the light. The father-in-law, who had previously angrily accused his husband of cheating and disgracing the family, immediately mastered the face-changing skill of Sichuan opera. He laughed at the mistress, revealing his back teeth. Good daughter-in-law, you've been tired from the journey. Hurry home. The father-in-law looked at Ethan Mang with a look of relief. Son, when your mother gave birth to you, there was a magpie outside the window. At that time, people said that you were the rich bird of our family, and this really came true. Ha ha ha. My father-in-law was so happy that he was like a child, jumping up and down in his 60s. Only my mother-in-law still had a conscience. I still remember the most embarrassed person at the scene. She looked at me with an apologetic face. Lily, I'm sorry. Our family can't accommodate you. In fact, it's not your fault. Who made you incompetent? Good birds choose trees to roost, people go to high places, and water flows to low places. My son is so outstanding, he can't waste his whole life on a loser like you, right? I know you are a good child and have always been good to our family. Save people to the end, send Buddha to the west. Can you take the initiative to leave the house? Help us, and you will be decent. The warmth and coldness of human feelings, and the fickleness of the world. I have never felt so deeply. It turns out that my husband's betrayal was not accidental, but a family tradition. This family is all ungrateful. What is there to apologize for? This silly woman delayed my brother for so long before, it's good enough that I don't care about her youth loss compensation. Lynn, get out of here. Otherwise I will kill you. The brother-in-law grinned at me. Yes. I have been unhappy with Lily for a long time. What filial piety? It's all fake. Seeking fame and reputation, deceiving the world and stealing reputation. But you can't fool me. What's the point of those little favors before? My new daughter-in-law is the real benefactor of the Mang family. The father-in-law insulted me while kneeling to lick Jessica. Jessica was very happy to be flattered. She looked at me with pity. How much money have you spent on Ethan Mang in the past few years? Is it 1 million? I'll give you 1 million. Make it even. We have plenty of money. Don't care. Just consider it as the fee for playing with your husband in the past few years. Counting the previous 2 miscarriages, this is the 3rd time Ethan Mang has made me pregnant. I should give you some compensation out of both emotion and reason. Ethan Mang has only been abroad for 3 years. But the mistress has been pregnant 3 times. No wonder she never returns to China and is not allowed to see him. She is afraid of being exposed. There is another more disgusting thing. Since Jessica is so rich, it means Ethan Mang is not short of money at all. But he still asked me for tuition and living expenses for 3 years. I remembered the famous line in the Spring Festival Gala sketch. This is to catch me alone and fleece me to death. Honey, you can't give her a penny. If we give her money, doesn't it prove that we are guilty? What's wrong with our open love? A mere marriage certificate can't restrain love and freedom. Ethan Mang stopped Jessica, and he looked at me proudly. Lily, love is selfless, so you can't ask for money back. Go away, keep some self-respect for yourself, and don't humiliate yourself again. The Mang family laughed at me together. Go away. There is no future for licking dogs. I was too angry, so I was calm. But someone stood up for me. A tall captain with a celebrity-like appearance just came out and heard what happened. Ethan Mang, how can you treat Lily like this? People can't be so ungrateful. The captain is Henry, Ethan Mang's neighbor and friend. Henry saw clearly how I treated the Mang family in the past 3 years, so he stood up to speak for justice. What are you yelling about, you little bastard? Are you worried about Lily? Haha, I've seen that you two are having an affair. My son is not at home, and you two are so shameless to have an affair. So it's not our Ethan Mang who is cheating, but you, Lily. My mother-in-law is so shameless. She actually bit back and made up a dirty rumor about me and Henry. Henry was so angry that he wanted to hit someone. A fleet of luxury cars consisting of Land Rovers came, and the Mang family surrounded Jessica and walked away in a swagger. Don't be angry, let's go too. I went to persuade Henry. It's so infuriating. Lily, don't be sad, bitches will get their comeuppance one day, and they will definitely suffer retribution. Henry tried to comfort me, but he didn't have much confidence himself. After all, retribution is too illusory. Good is rewarded with good, and evil is rewarded with evil seems to be just people's good wishes. The reality of society is that those who repair bridges and roads are blind, while those who kill and set fires are the gold belts. Those who are insulted and harmed are all honest people. Those scum and villains live in great glory. But I didn't spoil Henry's fun, but said seriously, I can deal with them without waiting for the end of the world. Because I am the eldest princess of Changshan Group. Jessica is just a dog in my family. Ethan Mang doesn't want to be a prince consort, but wants to be a male dog? There will be a day when he will regret it. My words made Henry dumbfounded. Lily, you are not stimulated to lose your mind, are you? Don't scare me. If you feel aggrieved, can you shout out? Even if you scratch the ground and hit the wall. Henry didn't believe me at all, thinking that I was crazy, hallucinating, and starting to have delusions. Am I crazy? Of course not. No kidding, I am the eldest princess of Changshan Group. Changshan Group is a century-old enterprise and one of the world's top 500 companies. Such a large enterprise certainly does not belong to a single family, but has a complex equity structure with many shareholders. The Lin family owns 75% of the shares of Changshan Group. The Lin family is the undisputed owner of Changshan Group. The rest of the shareholders, both large and small, can only be said to be shareholders of Changshan Group, following the Lin family to make a living. They have no qualifications and no courage to claim to be the owner of Changshan Group. Among them, there is a small shareholder named Tuesday. How much does he own? Just 1.3%. Even when the big shareholders are eating, the two family has to sit at the table with the children. For the affairs of Changshan Group, the two family only has the right to participate in dividends, but not the qualifications to participate in decision-making. The two family can board the big ship of Changshan Group thanks to the friendship between their ancestors and the ancestors of the Lin family, and they are considered to be from the same hometown. That's why they were taken by the Lin family. Of course, although 1.3% of the shares are not as good as the other shareholders, the annual dividends start at more than 10 billion. Let the two family become a leisurely and wealthy idler. Otherwise, how can this Jessica be so arrogant? How could she not know how high the heavens are and how deep the earth is, and consider herself the eldest princess of the Changshan Group? But it is precisely because the two families have no contact in this generation that Jessica does not know me, the real eldest princess of the Lin family. Not only did she show off in front of me, but she also cheated on me. She is really courting death. She ignores the troubles on earth and invites the troubles in heaven. I am the eldest daughter of this generation of the Lin family. And the only daughter. Our family does not favor boys over girls, and women have the right of inheritance. I am the first heir of the Lin family. I have received strict family education since I was a child. They do not allow me to show off my wealth and luxury, and do not want me to become a dandy who only knows how to eat, drink, and have fun. At the same time, they have been hiding my identity outside to ensure that my growth environment is safe and not harassed. According to the agreement between my father and I will live as an ordinary person in society before I am 30 years old. I joined the Changshan Group as an ordinary employee. On the one hand, it exercises my social experience, and on the other hand, it also allows me to learn more about the people and things of the Changshan Group. As a company boss, you don't know a lot of things. All you hear are flattery and fawning. But when you are an ordinary employee, you can understand the company more comprehensively. Know who is a loyal minister and who is a treacherous minister. Who is a gentleman and who is a villain. Who is really capable and who is only superficial. Who can unite colleagues and who can only form cliques and envy others' talents. When I was 30 years old, I was fully mature and independent. Then I made public my identity as the eldest daughter of the Lin family and let me take full control of the power of Changshan Group. So I have worked in Changshan Group for 5 years since I graduated from college. I worked diligently and worked my way up from an intern to a department manager with a monthly salary of tens of thousands. I have the most intuitive understanding of the operation and personnel of the entire group. Originally, I didn't plan to get married during the period of hiding my identity. In college, it was Ethan Mang, the president of the student union, who took the initiative to pursue me, the head of the literature and art department of the student union. We fell in love. Although from the perspective of being well-matched, the Mang family was not worthy of marrying into our Lin family. But at that time, I felt that the marriage between wealthy families was for interests, and there was almost no real affection. Many wealthy couples are sleeping in the same bed but dreaming different dreams, playing with each other. Although Ethan Mang and I have a huge gap in status, we are in a free love relationship, which may last longer. So I am very serious about my marriage with him. I never thought of abandoning this poor husband after regaining my status. I also advised my parents to accept this son-in-law, not to have a family background, and not to discriminate against the Mang family. My parents are not the kind of people who despise the poor and love the rich, so they agreed. Because my status can only be made public at the age of 30, I have always felt guilty for hiding something from my husband. That's why I treat him so well. I also devote myself to his family. In fact, it is a kind of compensation. After Ethan Mang went abroad, he didn't come back for 3 years and didn't let me go to see him. I am not a fool. I have already guessed it in my heart. I could have stopped it, but I didn't. I regarded these 3 years of studying abroad as a test for him. If he can withstand the test, be loyal to the marriage, and live up to my trust, I will naturally give him overwhelming wealth. If he can't withstand the test, then he will forever lose the opportunity to fly up to the tree and become a golden dragon. Facts have proved that he has failed my trust. He can't resist the temptation of money and the corrosion of desire. The Mang family also behaved ugly in front of interests. There is still a month to my 30th birthday. I am looking forward to the day of full control of Changshan Group. The day after Ethan Mang returned to China, he found me to discuss the details of the divorce. Don't play tricks like crying, making a fuss, and hanging yourself. I hope you don't cling to me. Let's part ways in peace. Ethan Mang set the tone for the divorce negotiations right from the start. It's also my fault that I have been too good to him in the past few years. I spoiled him like a prince. Let him mistakenly think that I love him to death and I can't live without him. So I was worried that I would pester him and delay his marriage to a rich family. Of course he was wrong. When I loved him, he was naturally a Ganoderma lucidum. Now? Just dog urine moss. Okay, I promise I won't pester you. I hope you can do what you say. Ethan Mang looked arrogant. Because we don't have children, our divorce is mainly about the division of property. On the surface, we don't have much savings, because all the money has been spent on him and his family. When we got married, we bought a house. I paid the down payment and I also pay the monthly loan. Ethan Mang has been studying and never worked, so he naturally has no income. So strictly speaking, we don't have joint property of husband and wife. All the property belongs to me alone, including this house. But this house has also become Ethan Mang's bargaining chip to blackmail me. I want half of the property rights of this house. Of course, I will soon marry into a wealthy family and live in a big villa and manor. I don't care about a small house of 100 square meters. Maybe my doghouse will be bigger than it in the future. But this house is very important to you, right? It's all your wealth. Ethan Mang looked at me contemptuously. If you want me to give up the right to the house, you have to agree to 2 conditions. First, tell the public that the divorce is due to our emotional discord, and we divorced a year ago, which has nothing to do with outsiders. Second, you resign from Changshan Group, because Jessica and I are both going to work at Changshan Group, and I don't want to see people who are in the way. I understood when he said that. Don't look at the arrogant face in front of me. I am justified in cheating and I am proud of having a bastard. But Ethan Mang also knows that cheating during marriage and having a bastard child is not glorious. So he wants me to cooperate with him to whitewash the cheating during marriage. The bastard is justified. The same reason is for me to resign. He doesn't want people in the company to know about my relationship with him and affect his image as a rich son-in-law. I laughed sarcastically. The house is my personal property, I don't need you to give it up, and you can't fight for it. I won't resign, let alone cooperate with you to whitewash it. You have already become a whore, so don't set up a memorial archway anymore, okay? Are you tired? I still like your shameless and fearless appearance before. Ethan Mang was immediately angry. Lily. You will regret offending me. Don't resign? You can wait to be kicked out. On the third day after Ethan Mang returned to China, we went to the Civil Affairs Bureau to handle the divorce procedures. I thought Ethan Mang would be very happy, but he looked grumpy all the time, not too excited. On the contrary, he looked at me with a strange expression. He couldn't help but speak until we pushed open the glass door of the Civil Affairs Bureau. We want a divorce. What else? Don't you have anything to say? Happy breakup? Humph. Ethan Mang stamped his feet and got angry at me. Lily. Why don't you try to keep me? Why don't you ask me to change my mind? I laughed dumbly. Then if I beg you, will you not divorce me? Of course not. Ethan Mang answered firmly. Yes, you know you won't, and I know you won't, so why should I keep you? Lily, no wonder you lost me, you really don't understand men at all. Ethan Mang looked like he was disappointed with me. What I care about is your attitude. I can abandon you, but you can't give up on me, understand? I want to see your pain and reluctance, not your calm face. Cry? In fact, you must be very uncomfortable, right? It's not a sin for a woman to cry, show me your vulnerability. Only then will this divorce have a sense of ritual. Ethan Mang, I looked at him very seriously. Divorcing you will only make me feel relieved, I really can't pretend to feel uncomfortable. But speaking of the sense of ritual, I suggest you remember today. I am almost certain that this will be the most regretful day in your life. The divorce was completed quickly. Although it takes a month of cooling off period to officially take effect, my relationship with Ethan Mang has actually ended. The matter about property is the same as I thought. My bank statements fully prove that I bought the house and paid the mortgage alone. Ethan Mang has nothing to do with it, so he naturally has no right to divide it. Ethan Mang can only sulk. After completing the formalities, we left the Civil Affairs Bureau and saw the fake Princess Jessica waiting in a Mercedes-Benz G. The depression on Ethan Mang's face was swept away, and he rushed over like a lackey. I was the one who reminded him from behind. Drive slower, be careful not to disturb the mistress's fetus. I reminded him sincerely, no matter how inhuman the parents are, the child is innocent. But Ethan Mang misunderstood, he got on the passenger seat of Jessica and looked provocative to me. Lily, you must be cursing me and Jessica in your heart, right? It's useless. The more we curse, the more prosperous we become. Only poor people like you will never be able to turn over a new leaf. I advise you not to hate me, and don't be jealous of Jessica. After all, she is the ceiling of your connections in this life. Being cheated by the eldest princess of Changshan Group is not only not a shame for you, but also the only thing you can brag about in the rest of your life. Jessica laughed out loud. Ethan Mang, you are different from those male models who only know how to wear clothes and shake their buttocks. You can talk and have wisdom, I like you. With you, my old man has scolded me less many times. Ethan Mang immediately took credit for it with a smile. Of course, I am a lucky wife. You have found a treasure by marrying me. This is not entirely Ethan Mang's self-praise. Compared with the average flirtatious and scumbag, Ethan Mang has more advantages, besides his outstanding appearance. He is very smart and a top student. Otherwise, he would not have studied abroad. Ethan Mang studied abroad at an Ivy League school, not a fake university that has very high academic requirements. Because of his high academic qualifications and good grades, Ethan Mang is also very eloquent. He is a versatile person. Otherwise, I would not have been so obsessed with him at the beginning. In the past few days, I also learned about the affair between Ethan Mang and Jessica through channels. Jessica was originally the illegitimate daughter of the mistress. Later, the mistress's mother came to power, and Jessica became the daughter of the two family. Now she is the daughter of her mother, and she is also a mistress, which can be regarded as an orderly inheritance. She studied abroad with a purely water-based education, and attended a standard fake university. Even in such a garbage school, Jessica's credits were not enough to graduate. For this, she was often scolded by the elders, saying that she was a piece of mud that could not be used. She ate, drank, and had fun all day long abroad, and was surrounded by either playboys or gigolos. Later, at a party for international students, Jessica was spotted by Ethan Mang. Ethan Mang is a man with clear goals. His dream is to be a superior person. This was his goal when he pursued me in the past, and it is the same when he cheated now. He wants to marry into a wealthy family through Jessica and achieve class transition. So in addition to actively seducing Jessica, he also used his academic skills to help Jessica write papers and brush credits. Jessica had played with many male models, and when she met a gentleman scum like Ethan Mang for the first time, she was immediately fascinated. The two of them fell in love. It was also because of Ethan Mang's help and guidance that Jessica's words and deeds became much smarter, and she also had opinions on some major issues. So she was praised several times by the elders of the two family. Jessica became more inseparable from Ethan Mang. So she, a slut, wanted to marry Ethan Mang. Is Ethan Mang smart? I think he is just a little smart, but not wise. Otherwise, he would not do such a stupid thing of picking up sesame seeds and throwing watermelons. I said with a smile. Is he the eldest princess of Changshan Group? Isn't he a fake? Ethan Mang, I need to remind you. There are too many scammers in society now, and there are not enough fools. Don't be sold by others and help others count money. Ethan Mang ignored my reminder. Fake? It's more real than 24K pure gold. But you don't understand the affairs of wealthy families. From now on, you and I are from two different worlds, and there is no need for me to explain to you. Of course, I know you are just being stubborn. In fact, you love me very much and you must be reluctant to divorce me. But what can I do? A golden dragon like me will fly in the sky sooner or later, and I will not continue to hang out with a chicken and a dog like you. It is said that a husband and wife for a day will be grateful for 100 days. I have never been sorry for Ethan Mang, on the contrary, he owes me. But Ethan Mang abused and humiliated me in every possible way. Especially in front of Jessica, he was even more vicious and mean. I can probably guess what he was thinking. Insulting me is equivalent to flattering Jessica. Okay, then I wish you a long-lasting love. Still want to be a golden dragon? I will make you unable to even be a loach. Jessica and Ethan Mang really joined Changshan Group. Jessica even got the position of business director right after she started working, and she was my immediate superior as a business manager. She was very proud of herself. Of course, Jessica didn't know that with her ability and influence, she couldn't get such an important position as business director. I secretly opened a backdoor for her. Why did I do that? Because if God wants to destroy a person, he must first make him crazy. Ethan Mang was promoted to be Jessica's special assistant. He followed Jessica around every day, acting like a slave. Jessica's speeches for every meeting were prepared by Ethan Mang. Otherwise, this idiot would have nothing to say. Although Ethan Mang was indeed capable, he had been in school and had never practiced in the business world. Therefore, many of his ideas were just on paper, looking good but not practical. I raised many questions at the meeting, listing the unreasonable points one by one, which made Jessica speechless and embarrassed. I deliberately slapped her in the face. At the same time, I deliberately let out the inside story of the relationship between the three of us. Everyone in the company knew that Ethan Mang was my cheating ex-husband. People have their own standards. It was hard to say anything in person, but the discussion about the two of them behind their backs became more and more intense. Jessica was anxious and fired me without any reason. Lily, get out of here. I will ban you in the entire industry. I will make it so that you can't even find a door to beg for food in the future. I left the company with my office supplies. But I know very well that it won't be long before I will return as a king. At the same time, being fired this time is also a good thing. Because there are indeed colleagues who are fighting for me, and there are also many villains who are taking advantage of me. You wait, I, Lily, will reward you for your kindness and avenge you for your hatred. I was kicked out of the company, and the couple thought they had won. They were already arranging a wedding to get married with a baby. The Mang family, who were poor and suddenly rich, couldn't contain their excitement and were already floating. The former father-in-law loved to show off and flaunted his wealth everywhere. The former mother-in-law loved to enjoy herself and went shopping crazily. I applied for more than a dozen beauty salon cards alone, and recharged hundreds of thousands. Anyway, you can use credit cards, and wait for Jessica to pay it back on the due date, so it's natural not to spend it. The former brother-in-law really got a red Ferrari, and went to nightclubs and bars every day to pick up girls, and he didn't want to leave. And Henry, the handsome and kind captain, insisted that I was stimulated to lose my mind. Always took time to have dinner with me and enlighten me. Tell me not to do stupid things, and not to go to extremes. Tell me that there are fish and water everywhere. He is silly and cute. I found myself in love again. Finally, I had no choice but to buy a Boeing 787 as a private jet to prove that I was really the princess of Changshan Group. I also sprayed Henry's favorite Transformers pattern on the outside, and he believed my identity. A month later, the cool-off period for divorce ended, and the red book was officially changed to green. Coincidentally, this day was not only the day when the couple got married, but also my 30th birthday and the day when I took full control of Changshan Group. It was Jessica's idea to put the wedding anniversary and divorce date on the same day. She thought it was fun, interesting, and exciting. I think she was right, but the development of things was 10,000 times more exciting than she expected. Their wedding was grand, and all the relatives and friends of the Tu family and the Mang family came to attend. Especially the Tu family, they were all very happy. Because the eldest princess of the Lin family would also come to the wedding ceremony today and would be the witness. None of the Tu family had ever seen this mysterious eldest princess of the Lin family. They only heard that she had been hiding her identity until now and would be in charge of the power of Changshan Group in the future. And the eldest princess's first public appearance was to come here as a witness, which undoubtedly gave the Tu family a great face and was a gilding of the Tu family's face. The Tu family was grateful and thankful. Although the Tu family and the Lin family are both shareholders, in terms of strength, the two families are not at the same level at all. A word from the Lin family can make the Tu family go out of the game in disgrace. So the Tu family has always flattered the Lin family. They wish they could be the watchdog of the Lin family. But the Lin family has always been low-key before, and they couldn't even get in the door to watch the door. Today is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The Tu family has discussed that they must curry favor with the elusive eldest princess of the Lin family. The auspicious time has arrived. Everyone was eagerly waiting for the arrival of the eldest princess of the Lin family, including Ethan Mang. He was wearing a white suit, looking very refreshing, so that people who didn't know the truth could not see the filth and dirt in his heart. In the expectation of everyone, I made a brilliant appearance. Ethan Mang was very angry. Lily, we are divorced, and today is my big day. What are you doing here? You are not welcome here. Get out. Jessica also scolded me. Are you making trouble? Don't you even ask whose territory this is. Where are the security guards? Take her away. Before the security guards came, the former father-in-law and the former brother-in-law rushed at me like two vicious dogs. Woof woof woof. Woof woof woof. Originally, the Tu family held a wedding, and the other major shareholders of Changshan Group did not need to come. It was not to deliberately bully the Tu family, but Jessica's life experience was not glorious. But because the eldest princess was the witness, these shareholders also came. Not to give face to the Tu family, but to give face to the eldest princess. Among them was the Chow family, the second largest shareholder of Changshan Group, which accounted for 10%. The head of the Chow family, Mr. Chow, came in person and was arranged to be the second to the chief. He was the most distinguished guest in the audience except for the mysterious eldest princess of the Lin family. The two family didn't know me, but Mr. Chow was my grandfather. How could he not know me? He stood up and roared. How dare you? Are you going to rebel? This Lily is the eldest daughter of the Lin family, the successor of Changshan Group, and my granddaughter. I wonder who dares to mess around? As soon as these words came out, everyone was stunned. The former father-in-law and the former brother-in-law were trembling with fear. Jessica's face was ashen. She peed directly, not only her pants were wet, but also the red carpet was covered with urine stains. The ex-mother-in-law rolled her eyes and fainted. Of course, the one with the most interesting expression was Ethan Mang. Lin. Lily is the eldest princess of the Lin family? How is that possible? I stepped forward with a smile. It doesn't matter who I am, but I am indeed here to witness your marriage. Actually, I said it on the day of the wedding speech, but I don't mind blessing you again today. I wish Mr. Ethan Mang and Miss Jessica a long and happy marriage, love and affection, a bitch and a dog, and a long and lasting love. As soon as I finished speaking. Plop. Jessica knelt down and licked the soles of my shoes with her tongue. Eldest princess, I was wrong. You treat me like a fart. I was very disappointed with Jessica's cowardice. Jessica, I still like your unruly look before. Ethan Mang was even more amazing. He threw himself into my arms and burst into tears. Honey, save me. I was raped by Jessica. I was forced to let her get pregnant with a bastard. I didn't dare to resist before because of her tyranny. I divorced you because I was afraid she would hurt you. I married her with great humiliation. She even asked me to marry into her family? Who would want to marry into her family? That would be a shame to our ancestors. Honey, I have always loved you. I really admire Ethan Mang. He came up with an excuse in such a short time? I didn't say anything, and Jessica got angry. Nonsense. It was obviously you who seduced me. Shut up, bitch. Ethan Mang jumped up and kicked Jessica in the stomach. The kick was so powerful that Jessica fell to the ground. Red blood oozed out from under her white wedding dress. It was obvious that she had miscarried. The scene was in chaos. Ethan Mang was really a ruthless character. He didn't care at all that he had lost his own flesh and blood, but smiled at me flatteringly. Wife, the bastard is gone. Have you calmed down? The wedding naturally couldn't go on. After my identity was exposed, I officially joined Changshan Group as president. I reformed the company, appointed talented people, and fired a group of people who were just sitting there doing nothing. Of course, that also included those snobs. The two family knew what Jessica had done and was terrified. Fearing that I would retaliate against the two family, they immediately drove Jessica and her mistress out of the family and severed all ties. The Mang family naturally regretted it even more. Ethan Mang knelt at the door of my villa for 3 days and 3 nights begging for my forgiveness, but in the end I didn't even look at him. My ex-father-in-law was targeted by a pig-killing scam when he was pretending to be a forger and lost hundreds of thousands. My ex-mother-in-law also owed hundreds of thousands of online loans for shopping. She couldn't pay it back, and the house at home was auctioned off. This snobbish couple could only live on the streets and suffered countless ridicule. My ex-brother-in-law was also miserable. He went to the bar every day to pick up girls and got a dancer pregnant. The dancer initially thought he was a rich second generation, so she showed her kindness to him in various ways. Now that he heard about his past, he immediately turned hostile and asked the ex-brother-in-law for 500,000 yuan in compensation, otherwise he would sue him for rape. The ex-brother-in-law had no choice but to come to me. After being turned away, he vented all his anger on Jessica. He went to Jessica to ask for money. Jessica couldn't protect herself, so of course she had no money. The two of them fought, and in the end the ex-brother-in-law accidentally killed Jessica and went to jail. But none of this had anything to do with me. I married Henry. It was also a marriage of pregnancy, because I accidentally got pregnant. It was a double shot. As for Ethan Mang, he committed suicide on the railway tracks the night he heard that I was pregnant. A cheating man ended his life of scheming on the tracks. This article has been completed.